Magdaid sa tanan, and welcome to Practical Research 1. I am Sir Justin Romer S. Monteron, and I'll be your teacher in this subject for this semester. Before we start, I would like to emphasize that this subject does not intend to make you create a research output. Instead, we're going to talk about the research itself, and you will be learning how to make and conduct a research study. This is just an input, and we'll be having a separate subject next semester wherein you can make a research output. A short introduction for me. I am Sir Justin Romer S. Monteron. I'm currently 21 years old, and I finished my degree Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Music, Arts, Physical Education, and Health last 2019. I graduated in St. Columban College, by the way, and here are some of my informations. You can contact me using this Facebook link. You may copy and paste this URL to your web page. And then I also provided here my contact number. You can contact me during weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's first have a short orientation. This orientation is intended for those using online class modality. If you are under modular modality, you may skip this part. For our video conference, we'll be using the Zoom meeting application. So please install the Zoom meeting application right now because we'll be using that for this whole semester. We'll be using a fixed link, meaning to say the link that we'll be using is the same link lang for the whole semester, which I'll be sending on the messenger on our group chat. During our conference, you'll be muted upon the entry. It is to avoid unnecessary background noises to maintain focus and maintain and avoid unnecessary things that would happen during our conference. But do not worry because there are times, Manggod, where we need to speak, especially when we have our concerns such as questions. So we always have this raise hand feature in Zoom meeting. You can use that feature in order for you to be identified. Pwede na nako i-unmute and you can then speak your concern. We also have the chat box feature in case nga you cannot speak or not maglisod dag storya or maulaw tamo storya. In our chat box feature, you can type anything you want as long as it is related to our subject. And if ever maulaw po ta sa tuang concern, you can set the privacy to private. By that, ang host ra ang makakita sa imong gi-question, imong gi-chat. Or in other words, ako ray makita sa imong gi-chat. You can also set that to public wherein makita tanan including your classmates. For our activities and recorded discussions, it will be uploaded in your Genio e-learning. So, aside from video conference, na po tayo recorded discussions pareha ani. So, i-upload na nato na siya sa GenU and then as well as the activities. Do not worry po no because anything nga gina-post nako sa GenU is i-follow ra po nako atong schedule. Mag-post na ako sa tuang schedule. Kung time na nato sa tong klase, expected nga nakapost na ko og activities as well as video discussions. And aside ana, during our schedule, mag-start na po ta sa tuang video conference. So be sure to um, be ready always because ining mag time na gali na to, so i-click na dayon ang link sa tuang Zoom meeting. So, moro to ang important nga rules nga that I would like to emphasize. So, here is the thing that you need to do during our video conference or during our class. So, you need to take note. This is not a requirement. Although natag online class, we are in virtual learning, you are still students. And as a student, you are expected to take down notes, especially those important informations because it will be very useful sooner or later. So I do hope that you understand everything. And if you still have any concern, you may contact me at my Facebook account or you may leave a comment here if it is possible for you. Let's first have a review before we proceed to our lesson. Since our subject is practical research, I would like to evaluate your understanding about research. I'm very sure that you already know what research is, but I would like to ask you, how do you define research in your own words? Much better manggod kung inyong own words siya mukuan. If kamo dyan mo define because you know how much you know about this term. You may pause the video and try to describe it using your own words and play the video again once you are done. Please pause the video now. I do believe that you already have your answer. So let us check if pareha batag answer. So first of all, research is a scholarly activity that addresses a specific problem. It is the collection, analysis, and interpretation of data, systematically finding solutions to a specific problem. If you've noticed, the main focus of research is to solve or address a certain problem. As long as naatay problem, so naagay research. The purpose of a research is to provide solution. And then kinsa may mangitag solution, kinsa may mag-conduct sa research. It will be the scholar. Kinsa po mga scholar? The scholars are those educated people. We'll be talking more about that in the next slide. So, unsaon di ay pag-conduct ang research? So, there is a system wherein we need to follow a step-by-step process. As stated on our third bullet, systematically finding solution. So, system natay step-by-step process. For example, I believe that you already conducted your research in high school. Diba naman tayo chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5? Wala man taning diretso chapter 5. Instead, sugod yun ta sa chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And within those chapters, dapat tayo mga subcategories that we need to fill in with information. So, mo na pasabot sa systematically finding solutions. So, there's a step-by-step process that we need to follow. For our first lesson, we'll be talking about the nature of inquiry and research. Here are our objectives. You need to define and explain the importance of research, describe the process, types, characteristics, and ethical standards of research, discuss the qualities of a good researcher, and differentiate quantitative and qualitative research. I do hope that we can achieve these objectives today or in the next lesson. First, let's talk about the importance of research. Why is research important? We already know that research is used to solve problems, but why do we need to solve those problems? Basically, the world has so many problems right now. Daghan kay tag problems every day na ay new problems that we can encounter. And then what's it unsa may naa na unay problem? What's in it for us? So basically, as scholars or educated people, we need to act and find solution. So we are not educated persons for no reasons. We are given educations because we are expected to give our contribution to our society, as simple as providing solutions to certain problems. I would like to highlight this one. We cannot address all problems of the world, but we can research to propose solutions that are based on data or evidence or facts. As a researcher or as an educated person, we are not allowed to post anything or to say anything that is not true or that is not based on evidence or facts. One example, Ani, is posting unnecessary information sa Facebook. This does not apply in research alone, but in all fields. Because one purpose of education, manggod, is for people to help society grow. But the problem is, most educated people sila tong mag-una-una og post of negative things sa internet. There's nothing wrong in posting, but remember, once you are educated, people will look up on you, especially those people nga manghud pa nato, mga elementaries or anyone nga below nato. Someone or somewhere around the world na amanay lantaw ka nato bali dako pang lantaw sa tuwa who will imitate what we are doing. So what I'm saying here, as a person who is educated, we need to live with decency. We need to live as a person who is educated. It does not mean na daghang tag rewards, daghang tag medals. Yes, that's true. That's part of education. But much better if we can show our education, we can show that we are educated if we can show it through our actions. So instead of posting informations nga puro negative, so saon man tanang lami kay tag English nga post online, pero wala man gyud tayo makabutang og solution sa mga problems na itong gidungag-dungag. So useless gyapon. So as an educated person, instead of seeing the negativity in certain things, we need to look and spread positivity because that is our purpose. We are educated for a reason. So these are the reasons why we do research. First of all, we do research to solve a specific problem. So balik-balik na siya. To improve the way people do things, test an existing theory. For number three, I would like to highlight this one. So, to test an existing theory. So, ang research, dili lang nimo na siya mabuhat to solve problems. You can also do other things, such as testing an existing theory. An example of this is, katong sa una pa ni siya, there is a theory that women can do the same work as a man can, which is proven right today na, di ba? So sa una, theory pa na siya, but later it was proven to be correct through research na gihapon. So they found out that how many percent of women are doing the works of men. Something ingon ana. Discover something new that was not known before. So research can also be useful in the field of science. So if you're a scientist, research is very useful. Learn more about a certain topic of interest. Complete our school program requirement. This number 6 is actually included in our resource. Appeal siya sa reason nga nung mag-research ta. Which basically I do not like na naman. Kaning magong number 6 is more siya ga-emphasize nga ang research is a requirement. Where in fact, dili man siya requirement, but it is a duty. As a person who is educated, it is only right thing to do nga magbuhat og research to make a solution to problems. So research characteristics. So these characteristics are important in deciding that a document is a research paper or not. So kung saan gyud pagkabalo kung ang atong gibasa nga information na document is a research. So daghan matag documents available online. So here are characteristics na it will prove na research ato ang gibasa. First is empirical. It must be based on experience or observation. Meaning, as a researcher, dapat kamo joy mubuhat or mo-conduct sa research nga inyong gihimo. Dili kay ikaw researcher, lahi nga tawo imong ipakandak. So it must be based on experience or it should be observable. Based on observation rather. Systematic must follow a specific process and specific guidelines and principles. As what I've said before, atong system, you need to follow from chapter 1 until chapter 5. Dili ta mo diretso chapter 5. Credible must make the readers believe what was found in the research study. So, the research must be logical and reasonable. So, dili pwede nga magbutang tirag magic or anything that is not true. It should be justifiable. Focus on one specific problem. If we want to conduct research, so don't get too excited. You need to conduct one research at a time. If you want to focus on AIDS, dapat sa AIDS lang yun. If you want to focus on HIV, sa HIV lang yun ka. Logical should be based on evidence that is convincing to the readers or listener. So, in research, when you conduct a research, you need to also have this documentation as evidence na nakandak kag research. Documentation such as taking picture while doing the research or possible pod nga mag-record ta if musugot ato ang respondent. Critical must be based on careful evaluation of the data that we collect. So researchers must be critical thinkers. Aside from that, they need to exert effort for their research. That's why careful evaluation ang term na itong gigamit diri. So research mga is dili ni siya basta-basta. And because you are trying to make a solution ng code. So if ever mamali ta sa solution, so possible na dili ta makatabang sa kuan, sa problem. Research process. So here's the process or the system or the step-by-step process that we need to follow while doing the research. First is identify a research topic. Second, identify a specific problem. So I would like to highlight this topic and problem because sometimes maglibog ta ani. Remember, the topic is the subject while the problem is katong the things that you need to talk about your subject or topic. For example, atong topic, kung sa may gusto na to i-research about. Let's say gusto ko ma-research about AIDS. Kung sa matong problem, kung sa may problem nga nasa AIDS. Let's say daghan nagka-AIDS sa Pagadian City. So, muna, gusto ko mag-research sa problem. Anong daghan nagka-AIDS sa Pagadian? Write down specific research question. Since na naman tay topic, na natupad tay problem, unsa may mga questions ka pwede natin butang. It could be um, we could place what is AIDS, what is the cause of AIDS, what are its symptoms, and then how to prevent this one, and how many people na nagka-AIDS na sa Pagadian, something like that. Number 4, conduct the literature review. You need to research articles or other documents and gather information about your topic. In our case, AIDS. Ang itatag documentations, mga articles na nag-talk about AIDS. Plan your research study. As what I've said, our research di siya basta-basta. It needs time and effort. So, aside ana, dapat magplano po ta to make sure that our research is worthy. Number 6, implement your research study. This talks about the conducting the research ka na mag-interview na ka, for example. 7, analyze your data. Ang data nga pasabot ani are the answers of the respondents or the things that you found out during the gathering of data. You will analyze it and then you will have to interpret it. Say kalainan sa analyze ug interpret. Analyze is tagsa-tagsaon nimo lantaw ang nag-gather nga data, while interpret is you will somehow make a short conclusion sa mga nag-gather nimong data. For example, out of 3 out of 10 women believe na ang AIDS is ingon ani ingon ana. Number 9, draw a conclusion. So make sure nga ang conclusion nga tong buhaton is can address the problem. So atong problem is daghan nagka-AIDS sa Pagadian. So atong conclusion must answer that problem. So based on our research, the research conduct, we found out that daghang nagka-AIDS sa Pagadian because ani angon ana og ana. Number 10, check the quality of your research. It does not mean nga nakabuhat na mo conclusion na humana mo sa chapter 5, humana inyong research. You still need to review your research from chapter 1 until chapter 5 in case that you have missed something or namoy errors. Because i-present pa man nimo na sa panels or sa mga expert. Need pa man nila i-chat. Research ethics. So ethics talks about moral principles. This refers to when we conduct the research, the things that we need to remember. So be sure that it is a voluntary participation. Wa ninyo gipugos ang participants. So in order to do that, dapat naatay consent form that is needed to be dapat na-signan siya sa tuang respondents. And then the respondents should also know kung sa inyong research about in order for them to know if approved ba sila or not na magpa-interview. Confidentiality. So there are cases nga sensitive ang topic sa research such as AIDS. So basically, kung AIDS atong topic, atong interview is maybe those person nga nagka-AIDS gyud or na ay nagka-AIDS karon or sa una. Since AIDS is a sensitive disease and medyo ulo ka siya ikuan, istorya nga nagka-AIDS ka, so you need to make sure or to let the respondents know nga their identity is confidential and will remain anonymous. Privacy. Privacy talks about during the conducting of the research, you need to make sure that kamura duwa sa respondents ang naa mas maayo ingon ana or kamuray nakadungog dili sa public or dili sa area nga natatawag accuracy. So, any information nga istorya sa tuang respondent, mao ra pud itong i-input sa itong data. So, we are not allowed to put anything that is false. Kung unsay gistorya niya, dapat mao ra gyud. Mao nay reason nga nung natay documentation such as recordings to make sure that the researchers are honest. Number five is the truth. So, you need to input data based on the truth. You need to be honest, in short, while making your research. You will not add anything that is false. So be religious in creating or making your research. That would be the end of our lesson for today, and I do hope that you learn a lot. And for those under online modality that is watching this video, I do hope that you can attend our video conference next meeting. It would be a better opportunity because mas makastorya ta and we can address questions and other concerns directly. And then for those under modular learning, you are always free to open this video discussion. I would be very glad if you do so because not all the time magsalig na ta sa modules. Much better magod na ay mo discuss para na to. You can also join our video conference for those under modular learning if possible or if you can do so. And then for those under online modality, please do not forget to check your Genu account and answer all the activities that I've provided. Anyway, the deadline is still a week from now, and be sure to submit it on or before the deadline. So see you next meeting class. I do hope that I will see you again. Thank you and God bless.